Mike. You remember? Mike.
Який в нас скажи, що? Давай, він не фан.
Press conferences are usually centered around cameras, quotes, and mind games, but this one suddenly exploded into a complete meltdown.
It reminds me of like one of those budget YouTube hood movies where someone just talks about their whole life and what they've come from and talking as if they're from one of the ghettos in Iraq or Africa or somewhere like that. But you know, he's got a sob story, he's running by it, and that's what makes him feel better, so we respect it. I just kind of listened and said my piece.
And you said to him, what have you done? Tell us what you've done.
Because as I said, like, you line up all the heavyweights. He was just talking about, oh, he's this, he's that, he's that. I said, but why are you worrying about what someone else has done? What have you done as a fighter to kind of boost your ego up? But he couldn't answer it because he ain't fought no one like that.
What was supposed to be a standard press conference, microphones, photographers, and the usual pre-fight banter exploded into pure chaos. Jake Paul slipped into his familiar act, smirking and poking at Anthony Joshua, pushing buttons just to get a reaction. But this time Jake went a step too far. Joshua suddenly rose from his seat with the posture of a man who'd had enough of social media antics and childish disrespect. Within seconds, AJ was inches from Jake's face, furious, focused, and ready to remind him that this isn't YouTube drama or some stage prank. This is the heavyweight division where the stakes are real, and so are the consequences.
If I'm going to be honest, I'm going to break his face, I'm going to break his body up, I'm going to stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality, and I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my mind, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'll do that until I finish fighting, no matter who it is.
The moment was expected to be an ordinary press conference with microphones, questions, and normal psychological tactics, but instead it erupted like a volcano ready to explode. Jake Paul walked in doing exactly what he usually does, smiling, provoking, and pressing buttons like it's all part of his routine. But this time, he pushed just a little too far. Anthony Joshua suddenly rose from his seat, fed up with the online antics and the steady disrespect being tossed his way. Within seconds, AJ was standing directly in Jake's face, furious, focused, and making it clear to everyone watching that heavyweight boxing is not a social media performance. He snapped, "We can fight right now, we can fight tomorrow, it makes no difference." The atmosphere shifted instantly. Security rushed forward, voices clashed, and the room burst into chaos as fans and cameras reacted like they were witnessing an early preview of the real fight. In that single moment, one thing became absolutely clear. Jake Paul might have believed he was creating another promotional moment, but Joshua turned it into something far more serious. This was no longer hype. It was personal, the kind of confrontation that leaves emotional marks before a punch is even thrown.
Netflix have spent a lot of money, MVP have spent a lot of money, and Jake would look like a plonker if he pulled out the fight now after giving it the big one. And he knows that, and this fight's happening, you know, and that they think, look, one thing I'll say is this: if there was ever a good time to fight Anthony Joshua, it's probably now. Right? Coming out of what will be 14 months of inactivity. By the way, he's also been in training camp for 4 weeks or 5 weeks, the time comes around. He's having to make weight. Maybe the confidence isn't where it has been in his career. So yeah, you can start
sliding out of the press conference chaos and drifting into Teddy Atlas territory. The whole atmosphere instantly shifts. It feels like sitting at a family dinner where Uncle Teddy suddenly dishes out raw truth with every bite. And when a seasoned voice like Teddy leans forward and calmly says something like, "Don't be shocked if Jake Paul actually does something," you almost drop your drink.
Where people want to go to watch, it's still their choice. Before we look at all the reasons why Joshua should smash him, he's a pro fighter, 2-time Olympian, 2-time heavyweight champ, you know, bigger, stronger, highest level of fighting at this weight class. I mean, he should destroy him like he destroyed Ngannou. And a lot of people will use that comparison. But styles make fights. And Jake Paul's not going to fight him all the way. And
Teddy Atlas breaks the entire matchup down like he's studying a case report instead of a fight. He explains that Jake Paul carries a few overlooked advantages. He's the younger guy, he reacts faster, and he's been smart with the small details built into the contract. On the opposite side, Anthony Joshua hasn't stayed very active. He's cutting down in weight, almost like he's getting ready for a photo shoot instead of a heavyweight battle. And the biggest unknown of all? Nobody truly knows which version of AJ is going to appear on fight night, sharp and dangerous or cautious and out of rhythm. Atlas basically presents a list of elements most fans haven't thought about. Even the possibility of Jake simply surviving the full 8 rounds, in Teddy's view, could end up looking like a victory inside the unusual world of Jake Paul promotions.
Maybe Paul has some advantages. He's younger. His feet are a little faster. I know he's not at that level of a fighter, I get it. But his feet are faster. Joshua's feet are not that fast, closing gaps, getting to somebody. To hit him, even if you're better than him, you still got to get to him to hit him. Also, Joshua, last time he fought was over a year. He hasn't fought. He was basically retired. Where's his mind?
Teddy Atlas breaks the matchup down like an investigator studying a case as he explains that Jake Paul holds youth speed and a small advantage created through smart contract details, while Anthony Joshua remains uncertain after limited activity and a clear drop in weight, almost like he is preparing for a show instead of a dangerous fight. And Atlas wonders which version of Joshua will appear on fight night, making fans question whether focus or hesitation will guide him. And he adds unexpected humor by mentioning Netflix lawyers guarding their broadcast as if preventing a disaster, and his comments shift the tone from circus hype to a strategic experiment, causing many to rethink the entire event and consider that the possibility of an upset may not be as unrealistic as it first seemed. This perspective forces viewers to analyze every angle more carefully as anticipation builds around the outcome of a fight that continues to surprise observers with new layers of intrigue and uncertainty, shaping expectations for everyone.
I'm just putting it out there that before you just say, yeah, it's got to be Joshua, don't discount how smart Mr. Paul has been so far. I wouldn't count him out in the ways that I just laid it out.
Moving on from Teddy Atlas and the psychological side of the Jake Paul versus AJ storyline, we shift into Dave Allen's viewpoint, and he handles it like a bartender who has listened to far too many impossible tales, skeptical yet observant, as he examines the matchup like he is checking a case file going back through Jake Paul's previous opponents to see whether anything truly makes sense. And we are right there beside him agreeing, because this showdown honestly feels like someone pressed a random selection button on boxing.
I reckon this kid Jake Paul could win an area title, definitely. I really think he could. He trains hard. I respect all of that. I respect him for what he's doing. Brilliant, he's having a go, amazing. But he's now fighting arguably a top 3 top heavyweight of the last 10-15 years. One, it's dangerous. We're talking like it's a real fight. The whole thing I've been doing right now is based on it's a real fight. They're both going to try and fight in each.
Dave Allen tears through Jake Paul's resume like he's studying a comedy lineup. YouTuber? Check. Basketball player? Check. MMA veterans who hung up the gloves before TikTok existed? Check. And when he reaches Tommy Fury, a solid fighter, but realistically a regional level guy, you can almost hear him stopping mid-sip, letting the absurdity settle in. Still, Allen gives Jake his honest credit. This is a former top 3 heavyweight of the last 15 years stepping in with someone who once weighed 13 stone, fighting influencers online. Even your logical brain starts begging for mercy. Then Allen delivers the unavoidable truth every real analyst eventually admits. This isn't just entertainment, it's danger. Real heavyweight danger.
Dangerous. He's not a heavyweight, he's a cruiserweight, if that. Turned pro at 13-2. And he wasn't a kid, he was 23 years of age. He wasn't a kid, he's not grown into heavyweight. He boxed, as I said, 5 months ago at 14-3. Might cut a bit of weight, might come down from 15 stone, but it's dangerous, really. It's dangerous, very dangerous, because if Anthony Joshua hits him on the chin, he will put him to sleep.
The moment AJ lands a clean shot, Jake might feel the entire world tilt beneath him. And Dave isn't wishing harm on him. He's hoping AJ clips him just enough to make the fight real. Jake beats the count, the crowd gets its drama, both men get paid, and nobody ends up in an ambulance. But then Alan lays out the darker possibility. What if AJ seriously hurts him? What happens to the promoters, the sanctioning bodies, the whole sport if this spectacle turns into a crisis? As he explains it, you can't help feeling that nervous mix of thrill and dread, the kind you get when you realize heavyweight punches don't care about storylines. Dave wraps it up perfectly. He'll watch about the same way you watch a dangerous circus stunt, exciting, unpredictable, and always with the uneasy thought that a paramedic might have to step in.
The intrigue is there to watch it for me. Yeah, I will watch it the same way I would go to the circus to watch, to be entertained by something a bit mad. But Anthony Joshua, for taking the fight, I'm not sure. So it's a lot of money to turn down, to be fair. But if Anthony Joshua goes in there with Jake Paul, plays nicely, wins on points, takes longer than 2 or 3 rounds, reputation with the casual public done. I'll watch it. If he's holding him up and playing nicely, I'll understand. I'll watch it and think, well, he could have stopped.
Moving on from Dave Allen, who broke down the AJ versus Jake situation like a theme park safety inspector checking every loose bolt, we shift to Steve Goff, someone who's actually been inside Jake Paul's camp, watching the madness unfold from the front row. Goff feels like that one friend who leans over and says, "Yeah, it's insane, but listen to this." He says Jake's mindset is the real wild card here. The guy truly believes he can beat Anthony Joshua. And that stubborn, almost delusional confidence is a huge reason this fight exists in the first place. Goff explains that Jake has been trying for years to show he's more than a YouTuber with a heavy right hand. But the business side of boxing kept steering him toward ex-NBA players or half-retired MMA names instead of real heavyweights.
Joshua, he's accomplished everything in boxing, from Olympic gold medal to now a 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So I think as far as him taking this fight, if anybody deserves to go and have a fun fight like this, it is Anthony Joshua. And Jake, he is kind of showing that he'll fight anyone.
Now Jake finally gets to test his full arsenal against a man who hits like a runaway fridge. It's like skipping driving lessons and jumping straight into a Formula One race. Impressive, but undeniably terrifying. Steve Goff is right there nodding, thinking, "Yep, let's see how this plays out." Then comes the classic UK debate. Is AJ chinny? Goff reacts like someone insulted his grandmother's cooking and breaks it down perfectly. Heavyweight punches aren't gentle taps. They're like meteor strikes. Think Ruiz, Dubois, Klitschko. These guys can put anyone on the canvas. When asked if Jake has the power to hurt AJ, Goff goes full analyst. Speed is power. Danger doesn't always come dressed in sheer size. Sometimes it sneaks in with lightning-fast footwork.
Why is he chinny? Because he got stopped by Daniel Dubois and Ruiz. I mean, listen, this is a contact sport, Like if you get hit, the human body's not made to be getting punched in the face. If you get hit, especially by these guys, Andy Ruiz, who's a good puncher, Dubois, we know is a big puncher. You get hit clean, you're gonna go. You're possibly gonna go down. Especially those guys, 230, 40, 50-pound guys.
He points out that Joshua has been stopped before by Daniel Dubois and Andy Ruiz. Boxing is a brutal sport. The human body simply isn't built to absorb clean shots from guys like that. Get hit by these heavyweights and you could go down, no question. Dubois is massive, Ruiz packs serious power, and when they land, it's not a tap, it's a game changer. Goff acknowledges that Jake Paul is quick, sharp, and unpredictable, but Joshua isn't stepping into the ring to play games. He's gearing up for Tyson Fury next, while Jake is barging into the heavyweight scene like a wild card. The real question isn't whether Jake can land a punch, it's whether he can survive what Joshua throws back. That tension is exactly why fans are counting down the days like kids waiting for a roller coaster drop. This AJ versus Jake Paul saga is part blockbuster spectacle, part high-stakes experiment. Joshua turned the press conference into round 0, training like royalty and sharpening his crown, while Jake is entering with wild confidence and heavyweight sparring experience.
But I would imagine he's going to come. He's going to be on his P's and Q's. He knows there'll be a lot of eyes on him for this fight, so he's going to be looking to make a statement, because I think they have plans of him fighting Tyson Fury next. So I think he's going to take this very seriously, and Jake's definitely taking it very seriously, and he's going to try to ruin the plans.
See how it plays out. You can bet AJ will come in focused, fully aware that all eyes are on him. He's likely aiming to make a strong statement, especially with plans to face Tyson Fury next. He'll take this fight seriously. Jake, on the other hand, is also coming in fully prepared, trying to shake things up and disrupt those plans. At the end of the day, if AJ is locked in, it could be a quick night. But if Jake manages to survive long enough to turn heads, we could be looking at one of the most shocking and polarizing moments in boxing history. Drop your predictions in the comments. Who do you think will win? How long will it last? And is there any scenario where Jake pulls off the upset? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Fight Masters. See you in the next video.